International Master William Paschall. We're going to be playing Blitz and Rapid Chess with everyone here through lichess and Twitch. Just getting started. We had a really tough simul yesterday. A very long grind every Sunday night. Painful, but fun. Welcome back to the stream, guys. We do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings here, European time at 11 a.m. And then Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays at 6:30 p.m. Central European summertime. Alright, it is summertime now, strangely enough. Troll on a lull. Troll on a lull. Troll on a lull. What's up? Little warm-up action. We're going to be taking challenges casual style. Togo. Troll on a low. The birds are chirping here, but I'm afraid to go outside. Why couldn't this virus thing have happened in like November or something? Alright. I'm looking for a warm-up game. We were undefeated in the simul yesterday for the first time, but slightly marred by the fact that two of my opponents didn't even make their first moves. I feel sort of empty inside. I literally only chose like 4 or 5 players I had never seen before. I always get these people who, they spoil it. 2 people could have played in the simul yesterday. There was a huge list of people waiting to play, and these guys like just don't make their first move. I don't know. I'll try to petition lichess again for an option to say like let players into the simul late, but I can see how it could be very difficult to implement that. 1690. We're playing, let's see, knight f3, knight f6, c4. An invitation to the English opening. And now black plays d5. This is a very, very bad move. May seem surprising to a beginner, but black no longer has really a strong center. We have the strong central pawn at d4. He doesn't have anything to combat it, and it's actually quite difficult for black to counterattack that pawn, to destroy it. Maybe for a long time he won't be able to nullify my pawn on d4. This is the so-called Marshall defense. Very bad opening for black. Very few people have dared to play this at the highest levels, Mamadjaro being the only exception I can really think of. But he plays a lot of really bad openings. You can't play with the black pieces whatsoever. You're not the only one. Alright, knight f6 now. b6, an unusual move. White has an advantage here. Welcome, DK guy. Not too many people in the chat yet. Just started. Trolling and rolling myself. I don't think I've ever seen this approach before. Should be very good for white. Black resigned. Oh, that's a new one. That's like the guys in the simul yesterday. Maybe he realized I was streaming or something. He didn't want to be broadcast. Why is my other... Here we go. Every time. Bob, nobody banned your accounts. We can't keep track of how many accounts you have, really. It's like Groundhog Day. The other day, it was the same thing. Can you unban my account? Dude, I mean, you were here just the other day. There was no issues. Timed out for 3 hours. Timed out and banned are different things. But how would you be timed out now? Who knows? I didn't even stream, dude. Alright. I haven't been streaming in the last 12 hours or something. But you weren't here for 2 streams, so that would be a little strange. Well, that was a non-warm-up game. MDR. MVL. I can't believe the guy just resigned after 6 moves. He was like, why are you even playing chess online if you just resign after 6 moves. I guess he had to go somewhere. We were missing you, Bob. We didn't know what happened. You missed my undefeated simul yesterday. So I was just complaining about 2 people dropping out without even making a single move. So it was really only a 23 board simul. Oh yeah, tons of draws. I mean, I'll never get like 23 wins, no losses or something. I've never had a simul without a loss before. That alone is a huge achievement. Alright. None of these time controls I really like. 5+3. But it's a anonymous guy. Cobra challenged me to 5+0. 5+0 rated. That's strange. Alright guys, right at the bottom of the screen you can see here I've got 5+3 through 7+3 casual. If you watch the stream you can see that. That's the time controls that we're playing. I tried to put that in there to make it very clear, so there's no questions. Morwad doesn't play simuls, and DK Guy, we had an interesting game. Wasn't a bad game against DK Guy. It was a draw. At the end, we agreed to a draw in a kind of double-edged position. I was at least equal in the final position, so it was reasonable. I suspect Cobra 11 is not who we thought he was, but it's kind of weird. The similarity in opening with that other guy, Martin. Do you remember Martin? He's not strong enough in bullet to be Martin. Let's check. Let's check his max bullet rating. Max bullet. Highest rating 2182. Not really. It's not the same guy. He just happens to play the same opening as Martin. Strange coincidence. Alright. We'll take his challenge first. Since there are no other challenges, normally I take subscriber challenge. Oh no, the London system. Great. My favorite. Kessler. Yeah, he's disappeared. Any conspiracy theories, Bob? Yeah, someone else talk. You would ban bomb in advance. See, that's prophylactic. That's a prophylactic move, DK, and it's very indicative of perhaps of your style. I'm actually a very prophylactic player. So pre-banning Bob, well, should we just not ban him? I mean, we should time him out in advance. That's the way to do it, right? Preemptive timeouting. Knight be free. Knight be nimble. Knight be free. Get it? Knight b3. Were you here yesterday? Step planes. I have step plane pawns. Levels. This is the first floor, second floor, third floor. Alright. It would be good to develop the rest of the pieces at some point. I would wonder if you having ADD, Bob, would make it difficult to maintain those themes for so long, you know? The troll themes, they're very committed to those themes. Now, would a person who suffers from ADD be able to really maintain those themes for such a long period of time? I would think they want to constantly change. I don't really understand attention deficit disorder that well. I'll have to do some looking up, some reading up on it. Yeah, you submitted a game to the stream already. I think you're the first one for the week. Now I feel like we had already a game with Cobra 11 in the same sort of setup, the anti-London. I like to see them play e4 because then we get a grip on this, a better grip on the f4 square. I suppose it's not that bad for black though, under the circumstances. Sometimes the knight gets kicked out. Sometimes the knight gets kicked out to h4, I guess. He's waiting to castle. c5 looks kind of interesting. Is c5 going to weaken my position too much? Oh, he'll have d5. I had a game like that. c5, d5. Now c5, d5. I don't like. So we've had something like g4 before. g4, queen g5. The dark squares. The knight gets condemned to h4 and it never gets off of h4. Seen this theme before. You can pick a square. h4, h2, g1. Queen g5 might discourage the movement of the f-pawn. It's an interesting idea. Not sure it's necessary. But I must defend the g4. So it's h5, queen g5. Those are basically my two options. Probing the dark square realms. Jim, what's up? But I guess you've done other things before. Okay. Pawns should be protected by pawns. At advanced chess school, I learned that. Now we have a new concept coming into play here. Suppose I'll just have to castle kingside. Seems kind of weird. Seems really weird to castle kingside here. But, I mean, I feel safer, actually, than other options. We protect f7. I'm castling into this diagonal, which is kind of odd. The rook is tied down to there. I didn't expect him to castle kingside, frankly. Wow, alright. Interesting. He has to take with a heavy piece here. Maybe put the king on h8. Play f5. Not so easy to do that. How about knight f6 and knight g4? Not so easy to do that either, but it might work. Rook takes, knight f6, rook f1, knight g4, and lock it in there. Now maybe c5 would work if I can get it in. Come to think of it. He forgot about Paschall. That does happen at some levels, Bob, but we're getting beyond that here. He forgot about something else now. He forgot about his knight. From the frying pan into the proverbial fire. Long think, wrong think, right? He had to take with the rook. Really, it's forced. I'm not advocating for f4, though. I'm not sure it's a good move or not, but clearly rook takes. Not difficult to say that. I was thinking knight f6, rook f1, knight g4. I'm not sure if f4 is a bad move overall. The engine doesn't like it. It's odd the computer doesn't like rook takes. I was just going to play this. But something special. I was thinking about also c5 here, because now this is actually, this is still a good move. If I take the pawn on d5, he can get the knight in. So knight f6, rook f1. It's funny, I saw this, but I didn't concern myself with it. I forgot he was double attacking there. That's actually a really strong move. So it wasn't such a good plan after all. No, pity. Oh no, Marwa is here. New account. Okay, DK guy is a subscriber. No, the queen is weird, man. I mean, on g5, it's a little bit awkward. DK guy trying to trick me into a rated game. Almost worked. Nice try. Marwa. He's tough. Play rated against, yeah. I'm already below where I'd like to be. Rated games while I'm streaming is a bad idea. Alright. DK guy. We're always black. Doesn't it seem that way? You're always black. I gain almost nothing for beating 2200s. I gain like 4 points, but if I lose like 20. And 2200 is a pretty respectable rating. I was surprised. I thought I should gain more from 22s. And my rating is actually down. I was over 25 before. Mostly I'm around 25. I'm down to 2490. And my rapid rating got decimated by... Rapid rating got decimated by a couple of cheaters. Knight f3, e6. It's hard to get the rapid rating back. I don't have a lot of chance. This is how you avoid playing the Blumenfeld. I keep forgetting. How does he do that? How does he avoid that? So we tried this before c5, and it's like c5 bishop g2. It's just a reverse Grunfeld. This is annoying, man. I can't do anything but the Queen's Indian. There's no Boko. There's no Blumenfeld. I see why you play this. You really cut down on the things you have to know. It's not very exciting, but it's better than the London system. You avoid almost everything and have to play a very, very narrow repertoire. It's interesting. Bishop b4 check, you and Asterbait. Actually, Asterbait's strangely missing. He must be sleeping. That's his favorite thing to do. Just play the bishop to b4, allowing c3 with tempo. He calls it fishing. Maybe like a handheld computer or a mobile phone who would really like this. Even the mobile phones are getting better. I gotta play something different. I'm so bored of that. Same old, same old. So basically this is a reverse Grunfeld. Reversed Neo Grunfeld, to be precise. Neo Bob. Yesterday I was mentioning that Ponda, some non-chess master, is now following. Thank you for the follow. Ponda wants to stream on his own, Bob. He wanted to like hijack my simul yesterday. Take over. Like it's the Muppet Show. One of these days there's going to be like an insurgence. But I had 2 non-games. I always have 11 draws. Do you watch you don't actually watch the stream, do you? You're only paying attention to the trolling aspect. You do realize that almost every week I have 9, 10, or 11 draws. This has been going on for almost 3 years now. If you watch my simuls, it's pretty much standard. 11 draws a little on the high end. It's usually around like 9, but but I never had 0 losses. Last time I didn't pay attention to the move order. Like, so technically this is probably my best move order. This is a common line with colors reversed. I'm not sure how much the extra tempo helps him here. (11) is on the high end of the draw spectrum. Very, very much. It's like half my games. So e5. e5 is certainly not forced, though. What if we do, like, bishop c4? That's c5. I'm getting, like... It's always, it seems like a lot of people do that. I never was too bad about reversing the notation in my speech, like saying bishop c4. I'm a little bit sleepy yet. I did not rest well last night. Simon Pepe Lou just subscribed to tier 1. Well, yeah, we're good. If I ever see you streaming, we'll return the favor and maybe raid your stream, but times don't really work out, I'm thinking. How are you doing, man? I hope everything's okay. We're worried about you in Spain there. Hungary, we've been pretty lucky. Hopefully the situation is improving now. There's some idea that it might be. So, Galicia not so bad as others. Alright. What's this bishop g5 business? I'll take that bishop. Give it to me. Probably he's just played bishop f4. I wouldn't want to give that up. The anti-DK guy system. We comfortably equalized. Comfortably numb. It's not easy to get out of the opening as DK guy with a good game. No issues. You don't like black. We have a central pawn, the bishop pair, and white is really not across his 3rd rank. I don't know what more you could ask for from life. Very strong unopposed dark square bishop. Because our pieces are at home over here, they're coming out. They're coming out. Just like you, Bob. We're gonna have a coming out party for the queenside pieces. No problem. Maybe not rushing to rook d8. You know, that's such a routine move. And honestly, like, it probably helps him. I can't believe I'm actually thinking about bishop takes c6 being an issue here. It feels like I should be happy if he played knight c6, bishop takes c6. Alright, we're really short of time. Have you started taking private lessons with number 4? I think that would be good for you, Bob. You would enjoy that. I only know what my sources tell me. Alright, knight a4. I have better sources than most. So, nothing wrong with that. We're doing well. We do have that one issue, though. He's going for this square. Bang. Unwarranted sound effects. Damn it, Jerry. I should really calculate more. We never did get our queen set pieces out. Some non-chess masters did follow earlier. I thought DK guy had queen c4. He has queen c4 here. I mean, it's the best move, probably. Unless I missed something obvious. Would be inconvenient. An inconvenient truth. Let's put the queen on b4. Harass the b2 pawn. We'll do some... It's a Karpov Catalan. We're just not gonna trade white square bishops. Can black turn this bishop pair into his advantageous endgame? Into an endgame where we're better due to the two bishops. Also the central pawn that he doesn't have. Well, I thought the dude was acting crazy. Honestly. He was like crazy with me. I had to ban him. But he was acting out of his head. Angry, and he was always angry, but it was worse than usual. Banned. He's been banned for a while. I don't want to talk about it. Just let the guy. Well, I think he was always struggling with issues. We all are, frankly. It's a Sicilian. It is what it is. How do I get my pieces out? Go to c5. Why am I going to c5? Rook d4. He should play rook d4 here. He's playing for back rank mate. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure the guy will be back. That's DK guy's favorite theme now. 2 days in a row. Damn it, Jerry. I guess I should play f5 at some point. Probably this isn't the moment for it. Knight d5. He had knight d5 there. It's not that bad. Oh my god, it's protected. I hate the bullet chess. I'm a bullet chess hater. No, not. I just dropped that pawn? Man, it's like playing Magnus or something. How do I get my king out of here? He's too strong. Even if I was better, I was never winning. I was just better. You know, pawn up with some advantage, but it was a good game. Not a bad game. This guy? Who is this? Do not spam the email, dude. Alright. So, Blobix. Blobix and the Bob. No rated challenges, please. Who is 1700? Oh. Alright. I accepted Morwa. Sorry. Wait. Morwa, please re-challenge me. I meant to accept Blobix. Please re-challenge there. But we should take the subscribers first. So Blobix and Bob. And then Morwa. Blobix, Bob. Actually, this guy, which I can't pronounce. Too hard. Kiskak. Kickskak. No Danish names allowed. Morwa is too strong. No, we'll accept his challenge, but I said I wanted to play Blobix and I clicked on the wrong game. Seven minutes, good amount of time. Sick of B3. His name is not Jim. Imagine. What is the Greek form of Jim? James. Ishtvan. What is Ishtvan in Greek? No, Ishtvan is Steve. What am I talking about? I don't even know what Jim is in Hungarian. So we like don't even have it. Dimitrilas played a good game yesterday in the simul stream. Yeah, Bob, what do? Do you write down all your accounts? Do you have a little little sticky note like with all your accounts pasted on the wall of your trolling office? How do you keep track of all your troll accounts and passwords? He has it on a password minder. Brittany 7483. The life of a troll. It's like you have little pins on the map like a murder investigation. CSI. Well, I'm sure that Bob is not the Breivik guy. I'm still sort of suspicious he might be Brittany. But I think it's funny to joke about it either way. Oh, you're sure they're the same? You think they're the same? Troll and a roll, you're really going back. I even made a video on my YouTube about the game where that account cheated against me once, that I actually just annotated the game on my YouTube channel. He's going back like 3 years now. This account was like claiming they were like sorority, some college-age girl in a sorority, and she was like 2,300. Never played a tournament game in their life. It's funny. I had some weird conspiracy theories about it, involving people that I know in real life. Might have been people who I really know. Okay, Rookie 1. This we've seen before. This is trouble. It's looking for pressure down the E file. So like a knight d5, capture, take with the E pawn, and then pressure against E7. That's really the only basis for this Rookie 1 move, I think. But it's crossing my plans directly, because normally I exchange on d4, play bishop c6. Knight d4, bishop d4, bishop c6, knight d5, e6. Have we played this before? Actually, it doesn't seem that bad for me. Korchnoi would play bishop f3, like against slow hand in a simul game. Korchnoi played awfully in that simul game. The slow hand showed us. If I played like that, like Korchnoi did against slow hand in my simul games, I don't know. I would have a really bad score. All right, so what's this? 97 now. E6 anyway? I can understand the master letting up in a simul and playing like substandard, but not a player of that magnitude. A lot of you don't know what I'm talking about, but we went over a game that Korchnoi played in 1999 in a simultaneous exhibition. I thought he played like crap. I don't know. You'd have to be playing pretty weak players to get away with. Maybe I'm wrong, but just an off game. Okay, Blobix, have we played this before? I'll give you this exchange. Oh, he plays b4. Wait. Why do I remember, like, at the last possible second what happened the last time? Now I remember that he plays takes in b4. And I play b6. That's not right. This is not the right position. It's not the right position because the position I'm referring to involved b4 and a5, and that loses a piece here. So this is actually a different position than what I was thinking. What we had played before. b4, b6 now probably is necessary. Obviously white is slightly better. I usually play such positions for a draw. Unless I'm playing really a weaker player. 2000s, for example. Blobix, your ratings are kind of shaky. 2000, 2001. He should be a solid 2200. No, Jim. This was an older simul game, and I don't know how old Mr. Slow is. or slow hand, but it was 99 according to his study. 1999. Korchnoi was still doing it, man, at that time. Heck, man, I saw Korchnoi here in like 2004 playing an exclusive GM tournament in Hungary, in Paschall. 2004, 2005, he was still strong GM strength. 1999, he was almost capable of still playing in elite tournaments. He was always old. He was born old. Should I play h6? Trying to hold on to the dark squares. We're going to get in time pressure here. James, were you gift subbed? Sophia. Wait, what? The Sophia account. One of my earliest trolls. It was some, master level bullet player who, I would say they were like a 2100 over the board. Consistently trolling me. You should have seen the letter I got once when I accused them of being a computer. Extremely well written. Very distinctive. I became extremely suspicious. That letter reminded me of someone I know very well. Anyways, Blobix is being a pain. So f5 is really going to be a problem. Maybe I have to play e5. Just, this is the least of my worries. We might have to just break down and play. I mean, it's very tempting to take on f5, frankly. But I don't know if I can risk it or not. I wish I hadn't played h6 now. f5. Takes on f5. Rook g3 check. King h3. h7. Rook h3. Queen f6. I'm just thinking if I can take on f5, I could use the g file for myself. Probably black is fine here, actually. I have a lot of options. f5, knight f6. Though I do recall losing to Blobix in a similar game. Black should be okay. You've heard me say this story before, Bob, obviously. He was gift subbed. She studied journalism, and that was suspicious. It was a conspiracy. Man, we've got a great knight now on e5, but he can triple up on my h6 pawn. You got to do something with... No, it would have taken a two two-person act to do that. One person to play chess, the other one to write the angry letters. But it's possible. How dare you accuse me of being a computer? For a second, I thought I hung my d6 pawn. We need to get the other rook. That was 3 years ago. Well, it was 3 years ago, Bob. But I wouldn't be surprised if it had been. But I don't think it would have been like an accomplice, you know? As an accomplice. It's a complicated story. Someday when I know you better. You remember strange things, Bob. Diet Coke. Don't all women love Diet Coke? This feels like a Skaveningen. How's my rook doing on h8? Queen c3. I might have to play f6. It's good I can play f6 if I have to. I've got to keep an eye on this pawn, and this pawn. We're setting him up for a big fall here. Knight takes c4, triple exclaim. He's also got rook b5, which is a pain in my butt. We're gonna have to retreat. I could play queen a7 though. Better to stay in the center, I think. Uh-oh. Queen d4. Blavic's just working it. Computer would love this position. Why do I have no tactics here? Blavic's is an engine. Seriously, they love positions like this. The bad bishop. This is a total... The computer is in love with this position. They love this. Luckily, Blavix isn't really a computer, but he's playing the style of the computer here. They love this kind of endgame. You'd think like black was better, but actually he might be worse. The bad bishop. Excellent play with the bad bishop. No, he's very mature here. Stupid move. I can't get my queen in the game. How about a Bob accusation? No, I respect people like you and Blavix who never ever would cheat. The minority. Man, you're on my a7 square. Make a blunder, please. He played great. But he's down to 2 seconds. I'm clearly worse the whole game. To the last move. Stockfish actually gives me credit for being equal here. I really thought I'm worse. Yeah. I mean, maybe clearly worse is an exaggeration, but I felt like you're just better the whole time. Possible I missed something toward the end, but we basically just win because Blubix gets a short of time. Bob. We lost that other challenge from the Danish guy. I'm so sorry when the 7+3 games turn into bullet chess. I knew it was inevitable for Blobix and I in that. But obviously the final position, by the way, you know, that's why computers are so good at those type of positions that require precision. When you have bishop versus knight, I mean, you have queens on the board in a position like that, it's much harder to play Blobix's side. He sees space, so he has the spatial issue, like he has to be very careful about all the space that he's taken and the weaknesses he's created. And then secondly, he has bishop and queen versus queen and knight. If my queen gets active there, he's dead, you know? So he's put himself in a situation where theoretically he's not worse, but the position is actually easier for black to play in practical game by far, you know? So even though I've actually won a lot of games like against weak players from that kind of position, even though it's equal. But against an engine, I would be very happy to just draw. Back in the day, 20 years ago, I used to play training games with computers, and we would have that kind of Sicilian or Marazzi. I would just instantly accept a draw. Okay, Bob is up. We have just 2 Danish, though. Breakfast desserts, or let's see if we can. Even 20 years ago, it was hard to draw against the best engines. But it was possible. I could probably do it. I bet I could draw like 1 in 15 games or something. If I just set out to play for a draw against like Stockfish or Fritz or whatever, Ribka, I'm sure I could draw once in a while. It's not like trying to win, you know, I mean, I think I could still do it. Not as often as I did. Back in the day, I mean, I could draw like half my games or something. With a very occasional win. That's why I stopped playing computers. Alright. You could draw Chessmaster and Grunfeld. Seems like a bad opening. Kind of open. Bob. Focal point F2. I never really play the Vienna. Maybe I'm supposed to play like D3 here. The Igor Gleck variation. Oh, Mozart, exactly. Wow. Exactly. I never thought I would bring myself to play the Dan Woods attack. That's funny. It was a 2000 player, max 2100, 2150 maybe he got up to. He used to play this opening all the time at the Boylston Chess Club. But you know, not a lot of people play the Vienna. wonder if this is a mistake, h3. Probably not. Well, it's basically like playing the closed Sicilian against e4, e5. I mean, I don't like closed positions, so this is kind of a weird choice. But I don't prefer closed positions, especially in rapid chess or blitz. I have virtually no experience playing this. I could count the number of games I played at Vienna, even in blitz, on 2 hands, probably. But I decided to try something different against Bob. He's limited in experience, and he doesn't really know the opening theory that well. So something like the Vienna, I mean, isn't played as commonly. I thought, okay, he probably knows what to do against the Gioco Piano and the Spanish. But if you play something like the Vienna, the average online player rated around 1800. I think it's a very good choice. It's playable, it's fundamentally okay, and they don't know anything about it. And it's also not trendy, which is probably the most important thing in choosing openings. You played like Kasparov till move 15. I thought you played like Fritz 8. Actually, I lost against Sherish Lajos once really bad in that line you played. But those Sunday morning games, sometimes just didn't get out of bed right for the Hungarian Team Championship. It's always fun playing Razzi against GMs. Bob's using more time than me, but no commentary. I have 2 messages. Do you want to check your hate mail? Alright, so as I pointed out against someone on Sound in last week, Simul. Okay, let me start this phrase a different way. Chess players below the master level, and especially online players, don't seem to have very good understanding of pawn structure and playing with the pawns. One important concept in closed positions is like who's first to break. Where the break is, who's first to it, and do you have a knight in the way? Like, in other words, his knight is in the way of his f-pawn break. I can place my knight on e2, play for f4. Obviously here it's a little complicated, the fact that his bishop's on c5. Now I could have played knight a4 at some point, but I mean the move looks exceedingly slow. Probably it's valid, you know, knight a4. Black has several different ways of dealing with that. Bishop d4, bishop b4 check, bishop b6, just leave it there. Maybe that's what I should play. Obviously a lot of experienced players would probably choose like a6 or something, so that he would have the retreat square back to a7. Yeah. See, that's the problem when you're not familiar with an opening. You're not really thinking about the right thing. I was more focused on general development and forgetting that I could do this. I mean, how long has that been there? A move or 2? You got to play it after d6, right? So that's my first opportunity. I missed it. Bob ignores it, but he does improve his development. I mean, the problem with knight a4, I think, is that probably he should leave it there. Let me take it. It costs me time, and there's pressure down the d file. I'm not sure I really like that. Then on the other hand, I mean, it is a strong bishop. My biggest concern will be him leaving it on c5, taking and having this sort of break with c4. f4 should be considered here. I have lots of moves. I mean, even knight d5 is a move. Bishop g5 is a move. Gotta be careful with that, though. And what am I gonna play? Like knight a4, bishop e4 check, c3, bishop a5, b4? I don't know. Bishop e3 also is a move. So we have so many choices. There's another approach. But maybe Bob can just equalize here with d5. Again, not simple. I mean, d5, bishop g5. He just listened to the stream. Let's go with bishop g5. Yeah, I think he now has to make his own decisions. Not going to give him any more hints. The knight h3 against the Budapest is devastating, Antonio. It's just devastating. Basically refutes it. Positionally refutes it. It's horrible, man. I tried playing a game with black, 2 weeks ago. You have to completely change the way you play, and there's no fun. There's no tactics. It's a totally positional game. And there's, I don't know, maybe you have to play the Uber driver. Maybe you have to play the Fajarowicz, man. I think someone on sound might be on the right track. Truthfully, the Fajarowicz might be better than the normal Budapest. I think I've equalized. Your debut on the first team, we went into the trap in the Cambridge Springs with knight takes g5. I'm not sure what that is. I didn't know that. I'm not sure what that is. You'll have to submit it for the Thursday stream, DK Guy. Is the Fajarowicz that bad? Are you sure? Well, yeah, I mean, it's different. It's probably not easy to refute it, though. Nice job by Bob here. I guess I went astray. We should have gone with knight a4 after bishop e6. I don't know, I had games with Uber Driver and games with someone on sound in that Fajarowicz. And I agree, like, it's kind of not that inspiring, but it seems like it's still playable. Not inspiring. So now black is slightly better. It seems that black is now slightly better. Very mature play by Bob. Now we're trying to equalize. It's like Bob has turned into Bob Vinnick. A3 and Fajarowicz. Yeah, that's what someone on sound. Someone that I was discussing it with. I'm thinking of A3 against the Albin now. I'm getting confused. I think we've almost equalized. Probably I should play this. Bobic, Bobix. He has a Bobix like John Wayne Bobix. Bobix like space advantage. Symmetrical nature of the position allows white to hold. Man, I played like crap. Bob Vinnick. Bob Vinnick wouldn't play knight d4 though. Bob Vinnick would play queen d7 and keep the pressure on. That's why it's Bob Vinnick. Bob Vinnick allowed me to equalize. That was a close one. Now the end game. Play queen d5. There you go. Come on, trade the queens. We've got very small chances to win in some way in the end game. Better king. He has some interesting moves here, though. Subtle. Queen c5. Queen c5 could get sharp. I shouldn't say the moves because he'll listen and play them. I gotta start laying some traps, suggesting like blatantly bad moves. Most people don't automatically listen to my suggestions. Realistically, I mean, I'm playing for a draw here. Any normal sort of can't even talk situation. Bob, watch out! Your rook's attack. Play c5. It's actually not a bad move. c5 is probably a good move, but I don't want to see rook c5. Playing quite well. Game is equal. Though black has to take care with the open file and the pawns on the wrong color. There's potential for black to lose this without good technique. Still, I don't think he's really seriously losing or close to it, but that's it, Bob. Put all the pawns on the dark squares. That way the bishop can protect them. Put all your bishops on the same color as your pawns. And don't trade your bishop for my bishop no matter what. He's just going to lose on time. He's happy to get to move 21 without any serious disadvantage. He maintained his focus for a long time there. Yeah. I'm equal after rook e1, but I'm worse here. Previously. After queen d7, black is slightly better. I was just doing a series for chesslecture.com. Bob Vinnick on space advantage. This would be like a perfect position for that kind of video series. I mean, black is just better. There's nothing white can do to trade pieces. White can't free his position. He's just worse in the center. If Bob doesn't play knight d4, it's just suffering. The best I can do is get in like f4, somehow get in f4 without losing something. And then I'm only slightly worse. But if we go back to where I played knight on gd2, bishop e6 castles, almost no games here. Hugo Spangenberg, haven't heard of him in years. Knight a4 is one of the best moves. So I thought, first of all, he could just let me take. And secondly, even bishop e4 check seems kind of weird. This line, I don't really like doing this to my queen side. I guess it's just the price you have to pay. This would have been my best chance. Mozart is right. you know. I get rid of that dark square bishop when I need to get rid of it. Maybe not right away, but at the right moment. Like even f4 here is a move. Looks like, yeah. The move earlier, well, I have to wait till d6. So I could have played, oh, okay, I could have played it here. Yeah, check it out, Mariotti 1981. It's the best move. But Eric J. Just J. That's awesome. He's just Eric J. Bishop d4 is another move. There's all these different possibilities. I like the computer suggestion of a5. Eric J faced that. Just J. Can we change our names legally to just one letter? Too easy to look me up in the database. Mariotti. Was he like the first Italian GM? I thought like they didn't have a GM until like Godena became a Grandmaster in the early 90s or something. Maybe it was later. But Mariotti was famous for playing crazy openings and stuff. Lots of games with Karpov. Yeah, this was the best try. Anyway, let's move on. Some more Wah. Have been challenging. He's extremely strong and fast time controls. You get to read what? Didn't get to read what? We're on the right track there, Mozart, if I ever play the Vienna again. I like Andy Soltis's book, Confessions of a Grandmaster, of a Chess Grandmaster. I don't know if you've read that. Highly recommended. Highly recommended. It's out of print, but Soltis, if you like The Dragon or The King's Indian, or you just want to read some funny stories. But he also played the Vienna in some interesting games. I mean, Soltis wasn't a really strong Grandmaster, but he's got a lot of good ideas. But one of the few people who used to play the Vienna, and he annotated some interesting games. Queen e2, right away. I've never faced this. Perfect. Mawad just coming up with a new move here to confuse me. Yeah, I wanted to play extra fast, and instead I get stuck with this. It's so funny. Instead I end up like thinking forever. I thought that was a spaceship. That's my picture squished down. It looks like a UFO. Saucer. Did you do that, troll? Mr. Coffee's in the house. Making his presence felt. I really thought Queen e2 was some subtle new system, but now I'm thinking he's just making quick moves. Why did I play h3? It's a Karpovian prophylactic move. Standard. Very standard, Bob. Well, he's equalized. Marwa has equalized for me. In a way, a little bit similar to last game. I feel like I'm playing a higher rated player or something. Jim, thank you for the donation. Well, I mean, the closed Vienna is an old style opening, and I think it's the appropriate way to play. Knight b4. The bishop on e5 is extremely strong. Bob, here we should play f6 and e5. It's actually not that bad, but I don't want to weaken my white squares. I'm going to have to do something, though. I equalize. I don't want to get in time pressure. Have the game decided by the clock. Anyone need a sub? I've got a challenge here from that guy. I was pissed at him. He was blitzing. He was bullet chessing my simul last time. He keeps challenging me, but then plays like a simul game against me with 1 second per move. Maybe 97 instead of 95. Yes. I thought about it and I dismissed it because I thought it was too passive. Let's see. Well, I mean, if you're playing a lower rated player, I'm definitely looking at that move. That's definitely in the candidates moves list, but and grab along the angle with your bishop. Yeah, I mean, it's reasonable. My main concern is knight e4 at some point, although that could get... If something like 97, bishop f4, bishop f6, rook b1. I think at the end of the day, he's going to play knight e4, and I'm going to have to answer some questions. I definitely would prefer to play with the broken structure with the queens off the board. It's a little dangerous to play g takes f here. I think the endgame is about equal. He's a good endgame player for a kid, and he's also fast. I have play along the d file, but white has the e file, and also I have double pawns. I don't know. I think this is probably something like 0.1 advantage for white. Maybe a good move. Interesting. So what do we do on this? He doesn't really have a threat. But I need to get my king toward the center. f5, rook a4. How about rook b6 at some point? Rook b6 forcing b3. Does that help me in some way? My rook is kind of badly placed on c6. Maybe rook d6. Another option is to play f5. I better not... Well, I don't think he's listening to the stream and like using my suggestions against me. He plays too fast for that. Video quality is low. Yeah, we've got the sun, sorry. Yeah, right in the middle of the screen. f5 is generally a good move here. I really want to get my king in the game, among other things. Masturbate, what's up? You slept for 12 hours? I have terrible problems post-Simo sleep. I wonder if f6 is a good move. He's played this kind of strangely. It's hard to play f6 with my king on f6. I don't really like the way he's played this. I thought rook a4 was better. Although maybe we can criticize other moves. His f4. He wanted to get his king to the center. I was mostly concerned about g4. Although that seems ironic, doesn't it? Undoubling my pawns is kind of strange when you think about it. He's conducted the endgame a little passively compared to the options he had at hand. When we first entered the endgame, I thought I was like 0.1 worse. Now I feel like I'm 0.1 better, so something happened between here and there. White hasn't really done this. I don't know how to make progress, but first of all, I'm like, I don't think there is a way to make progress. Probably the position is a draw, you know. But, okay, white makes mistakes, we can make progress. You know, it's hard to play for a win from a drawn position. You're asking me how to play for a win from a drawn position, essentially. a4 is an excellent move. Should I play a5? If I play rook d8, entering into the game, is a5 b5 a good move for me? He doesn't have a6. B3 is a great move. That's annoying. I think he's declining my draw, but he's not better. That's like the Artur Frolov guy in my last IM tournament. It's pretty cocky to decline a draw here. No, play. Wow. Scary. Not the best way to play for a win now. I mean, it's a draw. The rook in game was a draw anyway, but I mean, black has to be careful if he plays this really well. Fodder for the conspiracy theorists. So Mozart was right, actually. Looks like 97 is the preferred move of the engine. My move, pretty wimpy. So this ending, I thought G4. This is like a classic, kind of classic strategy in rook end games. When you have double pawns, you wanna play this move to restrict their double pawn from playing f5. Why would you double your pawns? Well, double pawns aren't that bad. I mean, this is the best move according to the engine in this position, Bob. His pieces are extremely, extremely well placed. And they're going to start creating threats. So if you just, you know, play something like f6, you weaken your white squares all across the board. My bishop becomes a pawn on e7. This is probably my best move, but this ending should be a draw. I thought this was a mistake. So now he's slightly worse. But a4 was a really good move, I thought. I guess I thought about rook d8, but I didn't think c4 was a big deal. But actually, this is really strong. So poorly played by me. I looked at rook d8, rook a1, c4, and then didn't think it was that good. Thought he could just take here, but I guess I'm wrong. I had actually gained the advantage and then gave it back. After b3, I have nothing. But now he starts to play like super precisely. Rook h4, best move. Rook h6, best move. And then a5, best move. And now black is barely hanging on. I have to lose a pawn here. Try to liquidate everything. I'm lucky that it's not lost, probably. This is a drawn position. But it's not that simple. Anyway, I mean, at the end of the day, 4 inaccuracies, 15 cent pawn loss, 4 inaccuracies, 15 cent pawn loss for both sides. Acerbate. Yeah, rook b8 is passive, man. Jim, never defend passively in the endgame. If you have an option, I would rather sack a pawn than play rook b8. Rook b8 is definitely, it's an instructive endgame. This is exactly what you don't want to do. If you have an option, if you have no other option, you have to do it. You have to do it. But in this case, I can sacrifice a pawn and stay active, and that's better. Acerbate, I hope you're here with us 100%. I want you to give it your all. Take your time. You got 7 minutes and 3 seconds per move. I think Acerbate is intimidated by me, so he doesn't play his best or something. Because he shows me some games where he plays really well. You know, he's submitted a lot of games where he's played really well. He's played poorly against me in the recent simul games we've played. So I want him to just, you know, focus and be able to play his best game, taking his time. Pushing the pawn is probably the best move there. Okay, after c5, knight f3, of course, d5, b5. Acerbi would probably play e6 or something. Or maybe d6. He's playing d6. Now, knight c6, d5, knight b4. That's sketchy. Very sketchy. There's also d5, queen a5 check, knight c3, knight b4. This doesn't seem right for black. He is playing too fast, of course. He can't help it. It's an addiction. Is queen a5 an idea? I guess like knight c3, queen a5, bishop c4. Seems like a pity to block my c-pawn. Now you can do one move threats. Oh my god. The vulture. I told you guys last time, maybe last week, we should teach Acerbi how to play the vulture. Let's do it. Let's do it today. We'll teach him how to play the vulture. Even I don't know how to play the vulture. Alright, the vulture. After the game, Stefan Bucher, German FM, wrote a book years ago. Maybe that's Morales' quest for a new opening ends with the vulture. Replacement for the Budapest Gambit. If you're gonna play like this, Acerbi, you might as well play the vulture. This is really very bad, very unprincipled. Now he has to play knight a6. Ugh. I guess you could play b5, but I don't know what it achieves for black. Principles. It seems stupid to babysit that pawn on c3. At least he now gets a pawn. I mean, I would take it. Doesn't take it. Man. Oh no, it's like a forced loss. Forced loss. This has got to be a forced win. He knows better than to do stuff like this. What? He's too nervous on stage. You're gonna castle queenside. He's gonna castle queenside. Oh, you also have like e6, actually. Well, we gotta do something. There's no forced mate, unfortunately. Kind of irritating that he would get away there. He just can't concentrate. Okay, it's like, to make excuses for him, but it's like really early in the morning. Great move, look at that. He finds rook e6 when he needs it to stop mate with bishop d6. So when he needs to make a good move, it was honestly just lucky. It was complete luck. He's preparing rook g6. He's getting mated anyway. Not completely. I can still drop mate here on the back rank. It's going to be difficult to do, though. We've got a challenge. Nah. I don't want to play this bullet player. Knight e4 is just winning. Knight takes e4 is just winning. I didn't even consider it. Knight e4. Knight c2 check. King e2. That's a double check. Bishop d2. At the end, knight a1. Makes my head hurt. Chupa chips. So I want to teach Acerbate, not here, you can't play the vulture, but in general, Acerbate, since you like to do things like this, I thought you would appreciate learning the vulture. You would like this opening. So, anyway, you're playing c4, c5, right? But after d5, you just go here with knight e4. And then you can do fun things like bring your queen out to a5. I take no, you know, responsibility for what happens. But I think this is perfect for you. It just speaks to me when I see it. It says Acerbate should play this opening. F3, for example, seems to have a good score for black. Look at that, a 2,500 losing in 2010. Queen a5 check, knight d2, knight d6. So the vulture comes back to d6. And then on e4, you play g6. Just absolute coffee house bullshit. Totally unsound. Totally unsound. Watanabe. Chupa and Mr. Coffee. Mr. Coffee is a subscriber. Mr. Coffee now is apparently he's in New Zealand. No, the South Georgia and South Sandwich Islands. You've got to play the vulture, Acerbate. It'll be a perfect complement to your Owen defense. I keep getting all kinds of spam today on lichess. Spammers, I'm going to report you. The South Sandwich Islands. Do not spam anyone on lichess. Jim, I saw you played in the simul of that Russian guy. Did you see what he does? The FM? Jim's still here? It's very respectable. You like make your lichess post and then you claim that your rating is your FIDE Blitz rating. There was someone else that did that. He puts it in like his teaching, coaching profile. FIDE 2430. Come on now. That's just disgraceful. Mr. Coffee going with the full King's Indian with white. Wow. Alright. Yeah, this h3 drives me crazy. It's actually the best scoring move according to the Opening Explorer for white. So, like normally when you talk about ratings, Bob, we're talking about standard ratings. FIDE has these very dubious, like FIDE, Blitz, and Rapid ratings, which almost no one even has. They're totally, like, statistically irrelevant. because almost nobody has any real amount of games in the time control for the first place, but whatever. But like, to put like your Blitz rating as your standard rating, pretending it's like your standard rating in your profile. Yeah, man, I mean, people used to do that. It's terrible, dude. Most people don't understand. You're basically misrepresenting yourself. All right. B5. What other plan is there? This is what we're here for. This is sort of dubious. Another Soltis idea. We all lie on our resumes. I don't know, man. Speak for yourself. All right, B5. E5 in some positions. It was funny because Soltis played this a lot with black, A6 and B5 type setups. And then when I went to Vegas back in the mid-90s and I played Maxim Dlugi, one of the only games I ever played with white in the Makaganov with H3, Dlugi played A6 and B5, and I'm sure 100% that it was influenced by Soltis, because Dlugi grew up in New York City. When he was like a young player, Soltis was one of the regular players, strong players he played a lot, so this is direct influence. I lost with white the one time I played Dlugi. This looks like he's losing a pawn here, or at least like kind of destroying his position. What? I don't understand that question. Very bizarre question. I have an extra vertebra in my spinal cord, and it causes a lot of problems with my neck, actually. I have very serious problems due to that. So if I make strange motions with my head, it's probably something to do with that, if you really want to know the truth. But it's a kind of strange question to ask someone. Very, very strange, unusual genetic condition that I had an extra vertebra. I discovered this in middle age when I was like 25. Actually, maybe when I was around 22, I don't remember. I had this like bulge in my back. Went to the doctor, I thought I had like a cancerous growth or something. He's like, yeah, that's a lot of extra muscle. Sent it to get like a CAT scan and an MRI. It turns out that I have an extra vertebra that I'm not supposed to have. Very unusual. But it causes all kinds of problems with my neck and even my feet. All the way up and down your body will be very disrupted if you have any kind of sort of disruption along the way. But luckily it hasn't caused any like major problems. But I feel like my neck is somehow not right. Yeah, I'm staring at another monitor. That's his suspicion. I use it for I use it for all the 1800s. You have an extra chromosome that aids with with alcohol intake. I have 7 toes. 7 toes. Bob, why am I not surprised? We've always seen you have so much sympathy for the handicapped. So, knight to g5. Yeah, Bob wants to get banned or something. I don't know. He's bored. Getting bored, Bob? Maybe a little bandage would help. Imagine Bob's school where all the teachers made fun of the handicapped kids. I agree. I think that back, probably even 10 years ago, people started to become more politically correct about things, but even in my generation, people were more sensitive than that, Bob. I actually had teachers who were, maybe you just didn't go to the right school. Kind of scary school, man. This is an interesting move by Mr. Coffee. Actually, I like the way he's played this. For a player who doesn't normally play the white side of the King's Indian, and handling this kind of aggressively, okay, it's not a big deal. I mean, a lot of people would have just insta-taken here. But I'm just thinking maybe there's something better. It's hard for me to unravel, even though I'm up a pawn. Knight on a4, it looks stupid, but it's not that bad. It can come back in the game with c5, even back to b2. He's down a pawn, but he has open pressure on the e-file. It feels like Mr. Coffee's not simply just down a pawn. He has some kind of compensation here. The Down syndrome bullies acerbate, really. Maybe they're aggressive after they're being extensively picked on. Like defending themselves. I could see that. Yeah, I don't recall any of the kids with Down syndrome being bullies. Maybe 1 or 2 of them more troublesome than most. Man, Mr. Coffee doing a great job. I like the positional style. Bishop e7. Alright. Mr. Coffee playing well with his pieces. He understands his pieces have good mobility. Knight, bishop. All pieces have good mobility. d4 is not really hanging. I would imagine when you're picked on all your life, you're obviously going to become defensive. We had a lot of, in my school system, we had a lot of kids with Down syndrome. Not a lot, but some. And I mean, they were going to school with us and around. Some of the classes would, even in high school, would take with us. But I never remember any of them being aggressive at all. More conspiracy theories. So Mr. Coffee, bishop a6 in the game. Rook e1. If I get an e5 and you take and I take and you sack the exchange, good game, man. He has compensation. I don't think knight e5 is the best move. We'll give him a draw here. Yeah, Bob probably watches like YouTube channels where people make fun of people for falling down. Mr. Coffee, good job. e5. I want to play e5. Can I just put it in analysis mode? So this was my worst mouse slip in a while. Creative attempt. Mr. Coffee gracious enough to offer or accept draw here. So I have to play e5. No, Mr. Coffee, it was it was intentional. It's extremely close to the destination. It's the right destination square, but I was a little too over to the right. We're trying to play e5, but I accidentally kind of clicked right about the nose of the knight there. That was a really smooth motion. That's why I'm extremely strong in bullet chess. Lack of empathy. Maybe you could be president of the United States. All right, e5. Empathy is becoming more and more scarce. Mr. Coffee thought so. e5, d5, knight e5. So let's say knight b6 and my rook is screwed. We'll do the acerbate rook, rook a7. Try to get our bishop out here. But the computer doesn't think you have enough compensation. But the thing is, Mr. Coffee, when I play b4, why knight a4? Why not e5? Have you ever seen this theme? And it's happening sometimes in the Slav. Pirt's defense a lot. Oddly, this has never been played. But it's actually not even bad for white. It just equalizes. I can only equalize. So actually your blunder is not so bad. Mr. Coffee, theoretical novelty, castle. Allowing black to equalize with b4 and e5. So when I take, you take here, and you're threatening my bishop. You're also threatening e7. This is a variation. Take, 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 take. That's a little too much material. So it's no problem. Surprisingly, this is better for white. I would think about even taking with a pawn here. I'm not sure if I would have found the best continuation. d5. The e5 is weak. So let's see. d5, d5. Knight g4. That's funny. Maybe Mr. Coffee's onto something, because the stockfish says that white is still better here. Yeah, I thought forever here and I couldn't come up with a move. f5 weakens my position. What did you suggest? Knight f6? Yeah. Yeah, I think if it had been a tournament game, I probably would have been more cautious. I wasn't happy after knight g5. That's why I thought for 2 minutes. It almost felt like white was sacrificing a pawn on purpose. I'm playing the Leningrad Dutch now. Yeah, but good constructive commentary from Mozart as always. I know that Bob and others like to horse around, but it's nice to get down to some serious chess sometimes. Any good moves after the 7th is pretty coincidental. Chupa and Mahur. So guys, I have time for these last 2 games. Chupa is an interesting word. It seems to have some kind of meaning, even in Hungarian language. But I guess it's something borrowed from the Slavic. Hungarian is just a conglomeration of a whole bunch of different things, it seems like. Yeah, because they're like lollipops. There are these lollipops called chupa chips or something. Chupa. Bob, you're actually not making this up. It's all sort of different meanings. Oh, is that Spanish? Oh, you're talking about Spanish. No, I'm in the Slavic world here. We're in the Slavic. That's just purely coincidental, Bob. I don't think the bishop g4 really seems right. Because I played c3 and my pawn is just a rock on d4 now, I would be more than happy to collect the bishop pair. What's the best way to play this? Just straight up h3. My queen could be misplaced on f3, but it's probably worth collecting a bishop pair. I'm not sure that h3 is the best way to take advantage of his quote-unquote mistake, though. Though c3 is a very quiet move. I think it's solid, though. You're on the verge of, even Troll and Roland is a verge of getting timed out now. The quiet troll. This is a family channel, guys. So we try to keep it rated R. Knight a3. Yesterday, my son and I were watching Star Trek, The Wrath of Khan. And my son was like, how old do you have to be to watch this movie? And then I was seriously thinking, and I was like, wait, it was PG. What is the age like recommendation for PG movies? I don't even know. How old are you supposed to be to watch PG rated movies? Is it 10? Is it 12? I don't even know. I was like, damn, I don't know. I mean, PG-13 is 13, so it has to be significantly lower than PG-13. It's a really good question and vital to the stream here. But is there any age recommendation? We've got the deadly bishop pair with all pawns on board. Eventually he's going to play e5. Then we're going to get to... I played Chupa before. Yeah. Isn't PEGI like a game age thing? Isn't that for like video games? Bishop G5 here, interesting way of keeping the tension. Normally in such structures we would take. His bishop is a nightmare on G7, but it has potential to get back in the game, as I know very well. Very small advantage. I like playing these kind of positions though. Petrosian, Bobby Fischer, King's Indian attack, 2 bishops. These are the tags for this position. Magnus Carlsen, boring. What other tags can we put for this position? Technical. Do I update my coach page every time my rating goes down? I think the coach page automatically copies the page from your profile. So I do update my profile, not my coach page. I like to keep track of them stealing my USCF rating points every time my FIDE rating goes down. I've contacted a lawyer about suing the USCF. But then I decided that was immoral. Unlike Susan Polgar, you know, I'm not going to do that to a charitable organization. I just want to get my rating points back that they stole from me. But to answer your question, no, I do like to update, to be honest. You know, I don't lie about my ratings like some FIDE masters on lichess. And it's also motivation. I'm ashamed of my standard rating. So by putting that crap standard rating in there, makes me more motivated to correct it. Chupa just blundered. Those bishops are getting pretty tough though. He's playing a bit too fast. No one upgrades his rating that often. I was changing it every time like there was a new supplement out. Probably no one does though. I don't think many people pay much attention to it, frankly. It's a source of pain for me, so I probably pay more attention than most. Sort of like trolling myself. My rating is at its lowest since 1997, which is by 1 point. Somewhere around 2010, I think I was 23.30, but now I'm 23.29, which is particularly embarrassing. Yeah, that's a good idea to put the peak rating, call it a day. I like that idea. Well, I mean, now it's gotten to the point where it doesn't really matter anyway. We won't play any more tournaments. Live chess is over forever. Now all that matters is our internet rating. I like how Magnus Carlsen's going to organize an online tournament. Everyone's excited about that in the news. So my first question is does anyone know about this? My first question is, of course, the big one. How does this work? Is Magnus going to host it on like a dedicated site? You don't know about this, Jim? It's in the news everywhere. Magnus Carlsen hosting an elite tournament with big prize money. But like standard, not like Bullet or Blitz. Some kind of like normal time control. It's in every, like, it's in The Guardian, it's in several major news outlets. I know The Guardian isn't exactly major, but other major stuff. I think I saw it in the Washington Post. Taking advantage of the modern era to try to legitimize online chess, but you know, it's hopeless. Maybe you can have an elite tournament for 8 players online without people cheating, and even that is going to be, I guarantee it's going to be like rife with conspiracy theories. Like, even if you have MVL in France, I don't know, and then like 7 other players around the world, there's going to be conspiracy theories. Oh, so and so, you know, the arbiter that was watching so and so cheated, or there was a conspiracy. Just mark my words, like there will still be conspiracy about cheating, even if like there's someone present. Dude, you know how easy it would be to cheat? It's ridiculous. You just have like some kind of device in your ear. So the main point is, if you want to hold an online tournament, they're going to have to delay the broadcast, okay? Otherwise, it's like, forget about it. First of all, number one, like any broadcast of the games there has to be a significant delay in transmission of the moves. If they transmit the moves live, forget about it. You know, maybe these guys won't cheat, but if you try to do this on a regular basis, like the average grandmaster will find a way to cheat. You have to do a major like time delay with relay of the moves. It should be interesting to see what happens, but I'm not holding my breath. You think there won't be any cheating with the elite players? I mean, I'm not thinking it's that likely. You know, like the 8 elite players that would have been playing in the candidates or something. I think it's probably more likely like they would cheat. I think what real threat is online betting, Mozart. A large amount of money could trade hands in that sort of situation. Carlsen has been pushing for sponsorship with online betting. I'm very concerned about that. Large amounts of money. It could be worse, you know, it could be like football match fixing or something. I don't mean to be like the naysayer of doom, but I'm trying to be a realist, you know. If online betting sites have nothing else to work with, you're going to see chess games being fixed. I don't know. It's just so hard to avert it, you know. It's a real problem philosophically, how to have chess online without people cheating. I agree the elite players are less likely to cheat, or maybe they won't, but if we add online betting to the mix, I'm very concerned about it. Maybe not cheating with computers, but just simply fixing games would start to, I mean, you could make like massive amounts of money from that. And the thing about chess, it's not like football, you know. In football, like if you're losing 3-0, you can't like screw up and lose the game. But in chess, you could lose almost any position in any moment, you know. So it's so easy to throw the game. Imagine if you have like $100,000 on Magnus Carlsen to like lose to somebody, and all he has to do is make one mistake in a totally winning position with like live betting. It's a scary proposition, the amount of conspiracies. So I usually play bishop a6 here. I mean, I wish there was a way to have online chess tournaments, but it's just hard to imagine how it's going to work. We got to go back or exchange bishops. I'm supposed to go back. Yeah, no, bullet is doable, but that's about it. But I don't think the Magnus should be sponsored by a betting site. I think it's a bad idea. I don't think that FIDE is too happy about him toying around with that either. Although I don't have much respect for FIDE. But then again, you can make the argument that if every other sport has betting, then why would chess not? Sure, fine. This is a very solid variation for black. I'm not sure if we have time for one more game. We shall see. Maybe a very fast 5-5-3. But honestly, like, Magnus has a lot of money. I don't know why he needs more sponsorship. It is a small fish for the betting companies, Jim. I mean, I'm not suggesting like betting companies would be doing anything illegal. I'm just thinking like individual players would do a Pete Rose. You know, American baseball player who was denied being in the Hall of Fame because he was betting on games like while he was still coaching. I think that I'm concerned about players and their friends directly making huge wagers and profiting with inside information. It's like insider trading. It's a very scary proposition. I don't know how to prevent it. So d5 is a good move. I don't know whether I should take here on d2 or c3. Funny, I don't recall this move. But it looks like white's just better after d5. I just have a bad... Maybe I can take on d5, but then knight d5 I don't really like. e5, knight d5, that's the problem. Maybe I can deal with that, just let his knight sit there. e5, knight d5, knight d2, I don't like that. This is seriously disturbing. Knight d5 is good for white. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Just looks like it's better for white. A good Queen's Indian. a5 really looks like a complete waste of time. Yeah, it's interesting, Mozart. I'm not sure, but the huge bets on chess, maybe they don't take. Yeah, of course. They're not going to cheat for maybe 10,000. I mean, perhaps it wouldn't take more than like an agreed draw, though. Just preempted agreed draws. Wouldn't even have to like lose games. Just yeah. Hopefully the betting sites would police like the overly strange, suspicious bets. I don't know what to do here, honestly. And this sucks for black. I'm pretty sure this is standard. Maybe d5 is just a really strong novelty. It had to have been played before. Man. I don't like this game. He just instantly took on d5. Alright, maybe it's not that bad. You know what I could play? I could have played last move too. Bishop c5. Kind of an interesting idea. I don't mind knight takes e7. My one big issue is the b7 bishop being unprotected on b7. So I guess here bishop f4. Bishop f4, knight a6. Something like queen c2. We're running into issues. I might be able to hold it together without a serious disadvantage. Seems like white is just strategically better. I don't know enough about betting to really say. Maybe Mozart is right. I don't think that top players are going to throw games for $10,000 maybe, but right. The best game to bet on would be like live betting a large amount on a game that's like a dead draw. Like a 1% chance of the better side winning. And then like dumping a huge bet on that player to suddenly win, and then it happens at like 50-1 odds. But imagine you bet $10,000 at 51 odds on a game that's a dead draw. But miraculously is a win because the defending side blundered a 1 in 50 chance of losing. That's a pretty big payday. Like $500,000, how much would it be? $500,000? If you bet 10 grand or something? I don't think $500,000 is that much for betting sites, but I guess it's significant. But imagine the money that goes into real betting on sports. It's just ridiculous. It's like a drop in the bucket. Queen c2 is probably white's best move. That's a problem. Now we have to watch for attacks on h7. That's a serious issue. I guess I have to take. The good thing is that if bishop takes b7 happens, my rook isn't trapped on a7 like it would be in a normal Queen's Indian. There's a positive aspect to this. We're really groveling for a draw here. Bishop e7 voluntarily odd, castle look fine. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. I knew there was something weird. So I basically, normally we end up playing that at a later time. Exactly. That's why I'm worse here. How bad is the situation? Rook a7. Black is very, very compressed for space. But I'm hanging on. I'm not sure if I like e4. That's probably not a bad move, but not the best move. Do we try to play bishop c5? We really ought to develop some pieces here. Yeah, Mozart is right. As always, I screwed up to bring my bishop back to e7. I'm supposed to wait until white moves his bishop from d2 to f4 or g5, pinning my knight on f6, and then if bishop g5, then I play bishop e7, or if bishop f4, then I might play bishop e7. I basically gave white an extra move, or at least mistimed it. Wow, e5. Oof, that's a lot of space. Suffering. Really suffering now. Horrible position for me. Truly, truly horrible. Big advantage like +1, +2 maybe. This e45 should have been stopped. I said I should develop, but maybe I had to play d6. Should have played d6 and stopped it. Just gets worse and worse. Any of the money in professional chess come. We should quote this for the quote bot. Bob Sakamana 27. Where does any of the money in professional chess come from anyway? Any of the money? What money? What are you talking about, dude? What money? Rex Singfield, Republican donor. They get paid almost as much as Formula One. No. Sadly, no. The simple answer is that there is not much money. What am I going to do? Man, he's all over me. And fast, too. 1942. He's 1800 Blitz, 1800 Bullet, but he's like 2172. I would never play a rated game with someone with that rating differential. But honestly, it doesn't mean he's a computer or something. He just likes slower games. Though he's really whipping me on time here, which does concern me. You'd think he'd be getting down on the clock if that's his trouble in Blitz and Bullet. The time pressure. H4 like DK guy. Why didn't I play Rook B3 there? Saving it for later? Queen A8 maybe. Man, I'm getting wrecked. I did it to myself though. E6 is interesting. Why do I have to lose like this for my last game of the day though? Caruana got that much? Wait, for the World Championship? Yeah, I mean, I don't even bother to, like, check what the prizes are. I won far more playing poker than chess. Only once in my life did I win a significant prize in the chess tournament, and that was only, like, really not much. A couple thousand, 3,000. That's my max chess prize. I don't know about this. He's just wrecking me. Oh no. D6. Surprising move. Look at this guy. Crushing me. Black is officially crushed here. We might be able to win on time or something. That's kind of optimistic to even consider the possibility of winning. I don't even see how I would get a draw. It's like hopeless. How strong is this guy? I'm so done here. My last game of the day decided by a mouse slip again. That's the second one today. I don't know. Though he deserved to win the game. Final position, I'm actually hanging on, it looks like. Ironically. Mr. Coffee, it's the square F2. But what am I doing? I'm losing. Probably still losing here. But I can play A3. Maybe I can hold by a thread. Queen G2. Queen G2. Takes and play A3. I'm actually gonna grovel for a draw here. This is a very dangerous move. If he gets bishop F5, I probably lose. I wouldn't hold this in time pressure. It might be possible to draw, like perfect play. Faux resign. What is our opponent's strength in this game? He's already beaten me once before. I played awful though, as Mozart pointed out. I mean, bishop E7. That's been played successfully twice. It's good to know I'm in good company here with the voluntary retreat. So here he finds knight C3. Knight C3, yeah. No, knight E4 made it worse. Maybe I shouldn't even do that. I should probably play D5. I'm thinking that this is a normal move, but this is not a normal position. D5 is a crushing move. This is engine. I think this is clearly best, and black's just in a very bad way. This is funny. The computer's suggesting knight takes D2. Looks awful. E takes and then pawn takes doesn't seem right. I don't know. Even this, yeah, even the pawn takes. Everything. Apparently I was winning at one point. What? Oh, I have rook B3. OMG. Takes this. And I was kicking myself for not doing that. Asterby would have found it. Not a good game. H4. I played rook B3 a move late. I realized as soon as I did it, I missed it. That was my plan, to play rook B3. I played this ridiculous move H6. I'm already down to 7 seconds. Anyway, guys, I'm going to have to shut it down for today. Sadly, on a very negative note there. Bad game by me. I will be back tomorrow. We're going to host a Blitz tournament here. No $1 million prizes, unfortunately. I'm sorry. Ponda and Horses Club. No, it's a Blitz tournament here. Ponda will be with me. We're going to do 6:30 tomorrow night. Blobby's good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I meant to play rook B3, but I get myself in too much pressure, and then I'm like not capable of thinking clearly. White misplayed this. So Queen C2. He's still on top now. I was gonna play like Queen A8, but I have no way to contest the center. The center is just winning. I mean, essentially. strategically winning for white, I would say. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow night. Thanks for joining us. And tomorrow is the Blitz tournament. It's going to be 5 plus 3. 5 plus 3 Blitz tournament here on the stream. Tomorrow night at 6:30 CEST. Thanks, everybody. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Say goodbye. Stay safe. Bye-bye.